So what do when the government is about to seize all your assets for unpaid back taxes? You leave the country. And you and your band hide out in a former Nazi headquarters in France and just end up recording one of the greatest albums of all time. I, of course, am talking about Exile on Main Street by the Rolling Stones. On this week's Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast, we're going to give you the crazy story behind this classic album.
You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time.
Moms and dads, boys and girls, children of all freaking ages, it's the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus podcast. And my name is Loudini. I am your host, your ringleader, welcoming everybody this week. We are really excited. We have never done a podcast about the Rolling Stones. Okay, so we're going to get into that in a minute. First of all, we have to do a little bit of business. You and me. Listen, guys. I don't know if you're aware of what's going on in the world, but people like Patreon and YouTube and Facebook are throwing people off of platforms and shutting down groups left and right. This is why it's so important that you go to loulombardimusic.com and throw your email address in there, okay? That way, in case things go sideways, you guys you'll still have access to the podcast. We can still hang out. We can pivot quickly and have something else set up so that we don't miss a beat here. But we got to have your email address so that we don't lose touch in the meantime. loulombardimusic.com will get you that. More information on Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. There's all kind of goodies there as well. RockRageRadio.com. You want to download that app. You want to download that app because this week only there's debuting a new show.
Oh, no.
Nah.
Oh, no.
TikTok with Lily V6.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's not confirmed.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bones. All right. Thank God Will Smith isn't here yet. That's all I need. It was a G.I. Jane joke. So.
Oh, hell.
Get Lily's boobs out your mouth.
I quit. I'm going home.
Wait, no, come back.
How? But no, seriously, go to Rock. We've digressed. I'm sorry. Rock Rage Radio, we love you. RockRageRadio.com is where you go to download the app for Rock Rage Radio. It is a 24/7 awesome music content, in your ears, to your guts.
Eargasms.
Up your ass.
Wow.
It's going to get you it's going to fill. Rock Rage Radio will leave no orifice of yours unfulfilled.
Right.
Am I right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Every orifice will be satiated.
Oh, hell.
Oh, my. Look at the big word.
Once you download the app at rockrageradio.com. I have a feeling I'm saying things that maybe
No.
No?
No, it's apropos.
Okay. All right. So in any case,
shit as always.
this is this is just me. I gotta be me. And I also want to say, of course, we have to give a shout out to our brother.
Yes.
From another mother.
Yes.
His name is the man.
Yes.
Chris.
Ooh.
Thunder.
Do it.
Wolf Dotson.
Yeah.
You want to go to Wolf's Customs online and get custom artwork done on your musical instrument of your choice. They do amazing stuff. Hollow Flash is just one thing, but check them out. Go to Wolf's Customs. You can find them all over social media. That's where you're going to see all the cool pictures and everything. Chris Thunder, Wolf Dotson. Check him out. Reach out to him. Tell him Loudini sent you. Okay, guys, we have the Lily and Pittsburgh Kevin in the house tonight. But before I get to those guys.
Yeah.
It's always me.
You're so humble.
I know. It is my birthday.
Hey!
Yay!
It is my birthday. I am
25.
25 years young today.
I believe him. Whoops.
If I could turn back time.
Ooh, wear that little
Now you're getting flagged.
Stimpy bikini thing.
Now we got thrown off of every platform for that.
There you go.
Yes, so happy birthday to me.
birthday.
I love life. I'm really grateful to have another year. And some people might look back at the past year that I've had and say, it was rough. It was kind of consciousness expanding and kind of educational, and I learned a lot about myself despite, all the craziness that went down. So, no, I'm happy. I'm grabbing it by, with both fucking hands and jumping in and enjoying it. That's what I live by. We always quote and talk about the movie Spinal Tap here. We love that movie. Viv Savage, that's my motto too. Have a good time all the time. And I have some other businesses and stuff like that. Most people that work with me know that I like to cut up, and joke around and have fun. So what you hear here, this is not too far off from pretty much how I am all the time. Don't get me wrong, we all have our moments, but this is home base. So anyways, thank you guys for all the support. I got so many birthday wishes and everything today. I'm so grateful, and so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to respond to everybody tomorrow when I sober up. But anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there, let everybody know. Okay, so we have Lily. So Lily, what's going on, girlfriend?
I didn't do anything show related this weekend, but I will be in Rockville in Daytona Beach. And
I'm like, Rockville, yeah!
the weekend of, I think it's the 19th through the 23rd. So if you're going there, say hey. I'll be there. Get me drunk. It's fine. Get me
Drunk.
But other than that, listen to my show. It's Hot Licks with Lily, Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Rock Rage Radio. For free.
Yeah,
free.
Rock Rage Radio. That's totally free. I don't know if we didn't mention. I was so busy talking about how satisfied all your orifices would be that I forgot to mention.
You got excited.
Your wallet will be satisfied because it will be free.
Yes.
So, see, I said every orifice. Oh my goodness! And speaking of every orifice,
You knew that was coming.
sorry,
Zing.
dude.
Oh, my God.
I love you, brother.
Oh, man. Oh, excuse me.
So we have Pittsburgh Kevin. What's up,
Yes.
Pittsburgh Kevin?
So I went to the hockey game last night. The Pittsburgh Penguins against the Rangers. They spanked them, right? Like that. But you know what? I'm Pittsburgh Kevin. I'm Mr. Pittsburgh. And when I came back to the show, I'm like, should I just run with that persona? I'm like, no, I'm just going to use my regular voice and, just do Pittsburghese every now and again. Well, I sat in Yinzer's Central last night.
That's the whole place.
It is the whole place, but I was
It's
really
the
there.
whole place.
And I'm like, you know what? You guys, you're welcome for me not doing that all the time during the podcast because Lily would stab me in the throat after
I
a
would
while.
probably just burn you.
But
Just
yeah, it was a great
burn
game.
you.
Great game. Proud to be a Pittsburgher. And
There it is.
I love you guys. And Lou, happy birthday. Lou, Lou, I want to do something now. Are you ready?
Oh
God.
boy.
Happy birthday to you.
No.
Honky the Clown's here for you.
I swear to God, I will leave.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Bones Magoo, but that's all right. But anyway, happy birthday, man. I love you. I love you so much, man.
All right, thank you guys very much. I did get nice presents from the family here, so thank you very much. Okay, guys, so I was also, in addition to being my birthday, this is the first day in about 5 days or so that I felt almost human. I got really ill, and what do you do when you're really sick, right? There's you know what I mean? Like you don't feel like doing crap.
Yep.
You melt
You
on
lay
the
on the couch.
Sometimes I feel like doing crap when I'm sick, but that's a different
Crack.
story.
So what do? You watch what? You watch TV,
Right.
you watch
Movies.
movies, things like that,
Eat horribly. Well, I do.
So yes, oh yeah, yeah. Well, at first I was not hungry. Once things kind of started to kind of die down a bit, then I ate a lot. But I watched some movies that because I don't know, man. I'm a little skeptical about a lot of modern Hollywood movies. So I find myself saying, well, what was a great movie that I loved that I haven't seen and I would like to see again? And I had a little Kathleen Turner film festival.
Oh,
Kathleen Turner Overdrive. Yeah.
Kathleen Turner
Yes.
Overdrive.
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
What'd you watch?
I watched V.I. Wachowski,
Wow.
and I watched Romancing the Stone.
I love that movie.
Okay, now there's completely different movies. Now, this is like Romancing the Stone actually came out before V.I. Wachowski. Romancing the Stone is like, remember after Raiders of the Lost Ark came out, like
right.
there was like, well,
Adventure types.
let's do all these kind of adventure stories, and there was a lot of ones that were yawn, and there were some that weren't like, they were okay.
Yeah.
And this was actually one that turned out really good because it was a romantic. What they did
Yes.
was they made a romantic comedy that guys would like.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That'd be a good podcast. 10 romantic comedies that guys actually could
Oh,
like.
there you go. Yeah.
The guys will admit to liking.
Well, what it is they disguise them as something else.
yes.
and
So
guys
get
like them.
tricked. Yeah.
I mean, like High Fidelity. That's a romantic comedy that guys like.
Yes,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Absolutely. So, in any case, it's flawless. Like, it is really, really good. There's some places in it. Actually, really aren't too many places where we might today modern audiences might consider slow. It's got a pretty good pace. It moves along pretty
Yeah.
quickly. It was very family friendly. I remember seeing it with my family when it came out. We went to the movie theater and saw it, all four of us, and my parents were uncomfortable with where Michael the Douglas character is throwing the marijuana on the fire.
right.
They were like, we had to get a don't do drugs lecture after
afterwards.
that,
Of course.
on the way home. But they were able to do like a lot of stuff with this, and it was. And it's got Danny DeVito in it, like
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner did 3 really good movies together.
Yes.
Romancing Stone, Jewel and Isle, and War of the Roses.
Yes.
And I have not. War of the Roses is on my list. I'm going to watch that at some point too. But Kathleen Turner was like a pretty big deal for people my age. Like she had this really giant kind of like explosion in the 80s. And with these movies that resonated with people about my age. So she was a kind of hero or whatever at that time.
I've met her.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. She's
And
super nice.
I was, in love with her. And so a couple of years later, she did this movie called V.I. Wachowski, which is based on a detective series. And just like Fletch, Chevy Chase, and when you watch this movie, you realize right away, oh, Fletch was big, so maybe we could do a female Fletch with Kathleen. We'll get somebody like Kathleen Turner, who everybody loves. Kathleen brings her A game, but it just is not a good movie. It's just not a good
I've
movie.
never seen it, so I don't know.
It's just not good. It's just
I
not.
can't
Unfortunately, like if you go, like I love Kathleen Turner, and I'm just kind of curious. Like it's a kind of time capsule. It's like interesting for that, but it's just kind of like, yeah, it just doesn't. Yeah. But the cool thing, there's a lot of character actors and stuff from that era that you go like, oh, I remember that guy. He was in
Yep,
everything. He
yep.
was in everything. It's
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. But it's just not. It's definitely not Fletch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like not even close. I mean, and so you could tell that like I remember seeing it like thinking immediately like when it was over like they're trying to launch some kind of series like they want to but it wasn't a good movie. It didn't do well. And unfortunately, it just didn't go. But and the other 2 movies that I watched that were I compare and contrast was Cape Fear
Oh.
with the De Niro.
I was going to say the second one.
Yeah,
Okay.
and Nick Nolte. That is
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis. Wow.
Yeah.
How that happened. I mean, dude, like I don't know if you could make that movie today. I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
but it is a really good thriller. I was like, I remember seeing it when it came out and being like really blown away by it, and I was completely blown away all over again. I was like, damn, this is good. So if you haven't seen that, watch it. And the other movie I watched in that sort of same thing was Gothica with
I've not seen
Is
that.
it
Halle
Ethan
Berry.
Hawke? Oh, I'm thinking of something else. Okay.
And
yeah.
Halle Berry, she's, again, she brings her A game, but like the movie doesn't make any sense. There's too many things. Like,
Come on, guys.
if a movie is like really good, you can forgive a little thing over here and a little thing over there. But there's like stuff that's kind of like really germane to the plot. Did you go like that would never happen? Like,
Right.
and it's not set in like some kind of crazy science fiction universe where anything can happen. No, it's supposed to be like a normal thing. It's a cool, and there's a lot of cool ideas, and she gives her A game, but it's just like kind of like, I was like, you know what I mean? Like, she's like great, like, but she seems to have bad luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Catwoman.
she just kind of gets cast in the wrong stuff, but she did show up for her Razzie for Catwoman.
Did she? That's
Yeah.
cool.
She went, she's like, yeah, we made a silly movie.
What a horrible movie.
I still have to rewatch Freddy Got Fingered, but we'll get
You
to that.
call me over.
Oh, dude, we'll do that.
You call me
Well,
over.
we gotta
and
watch
will
Freddy Got
that.
Fingered.
And I will.
Lose my number.
No, you and I will probably quote all the way through. We'll
Yeah,
probably do all
I
the
gotta.
dialogue.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I could talk about movies all day. We're not gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about Exile on Main Street.
Yeah? Is that what
Yeah.
we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that you okay?
Yeah.
Did you
Okay.
not? Oh.
I thought we were talking about Captain Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
Oh, dag nabbit.
Captain Yeech.
Something got lost in the translation.
No, I have the correct notes. Don't worry.
good.
We had a.
He's got like a book there.
Well, I wanted to get
there's
all the
a
things.
lot.
Okay.
About
There's a
this.
lot about the
There's a lot about
and
this.
rightfully so. What
And
a
I also have my
great
new and notable.
Okay, so
Okay.
what I
Just in
like
case.
oh my god.
What?
Who's your new and okay?
What?
Just I'll show you mine real quick.
I swear to God, if it's the
And
same
just
one,
tell
I'm
me,
screaming.
just please,
Nobody
I hope
else
it's not
look.
the same one.
Look
Because I
away.
saw this and I went like, I wonder if Lily's gonna pick this.
No.
All right. Okay.
That's the one.
But that's what I picked. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't want the audience to know what you're
We didn't want the
about.
audience to know.
it
We
to
want
be
to.
a
We want to save the
surprise.
suspense. So here's what we're gonna do. We did this a couple weeks ago on something, and Lily kind of started it off, and then I kind of interjected. I think we kind of tag teamed.
Oh, do you want to do that again?
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and start, and then I will fill in. Because I think I have a lot of little tidbits. I watched. There's a movie about this called
Which I did
Stones
not
in Exile,
Yeah.
and I rewatched it and took copious notes.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
like the
so
word
like,
copious.
so as you go through, I may be able to add.
Well, yeah,
color.
because I'm not going to read this word for word.
Right.
So there's that. I'm
So-
going to just,
Okay, so I need to. So go ahead, Lily.
Okay, Exile on Main Street, Rolling Stones, May 12th, 1972, so we're almost on the anniversary there. The 12th American studio album by English rock band the Rolling Stones, released 72, began recording in 69 in England.
69, dudes.
Knew that was coming for Sticky Fingers, and continued in mid-1971 in the south of France, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that villa name.
The Villa Strangiato.
Yeah, sure. While the band lived abroad as tax exiles.
They lived as broads.
They did live as broads,
Oh
yes.
my.
They lived as broads.
I hate you guys.
Come on.
By the spring of 71, the Stones had spent the money they owed in taxes and left Britain before the government could seize their assets. And Jagger settled in Paris with his new bride, Bianca, and guitarist Keith Richards, and rented the villa that I'm not going to try to pronounce. In Nice, the other members settled in the south of France. As a suitable recording studio could not be found where they could continue to work on the album, Richards' basement...
It's Nelcott. It's pronounced Nel. It's
Sure.
just Nelcott. That's what it's called.
No
Nelcott.
Carter.
Nel Carter.
No Carter.
became a makeshift studio using the band's mobile recording truck.
The rolling truck Stones thing just outside.
Look at that.
From that's a reference to that in Smoke on the Water. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had to take a drink.
Yes, you
The
did.
recording was completed with overdub sessions at the LA Sunset Sound. and included additional musicians, and I'm not reading them all.
Okay,
There's a lot of
listen.
them.
So, this album starts out under this terrible thing. These guys were assuming that their management was paying the taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
They're rock stars and they're
What
on
do they know?
drugs, you know? They are on drugs. What's one of the reasons what made them rock
Heavily
stars was they did
sedated.
copious amounts of all kind of substances.
It's the lifestyle.
And they didn't die. So
Right.
that makes you like a rock star.
Yes.
But they saw very little money. They weren't making like anything. And they were like, what the hell's going on here? And it was their management who was, so they ended up in this very bad position. So they escaped to France, and they didn't all live around where Keith's villa was in Nelcott. Like Charlie lived a couple hours away. Mick was living in Paris, and Bianca was going to have her baby, and there was a lot going on. So they would travel, a couple hours or so to Keith's villa to work on the music. They didn't, and when they went there, like Glyn Johns and some of the other guys that were working with them did scout studios for them, and none of them wanted to go to a studio. They just were like, we don't want to go to a studio. So they set up in the basement of this villa. And when we say villa, it's okay for all intents and purposes, it's a castle.
Right.
Let's just call it what it is.
It's not a villa like you think a villa is.
It's actually a castle. Okay. So they set up in the basement, and a lot, they complained about the sound. And I know that Glyn Johns was like anytime I had to tell somebody we were going to start recording, I had to get out of the trailer. I had to go to each room. They all were like in different rooms and tell each person, we're going to, he's like sucked.
Yeah.
And now today with the monitoring and everything, you know what I mean? Like that could be done. Like you could keep your cell phone there and he could text you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, send out a group text. Okay, here we go. So it's, it's just a giant pain in the ass, but it was it was May, so it's late spring, south of France.
I mean, hello.
I mean, the weather is perfect.
Yes.
There's plenty of room for people to come and crash. There's rooms everywhere. Anybody could stay anywhere they wanted. And that's exactly what they ended up doing, like with people camping out all over the place. And it was like the kind of party that never ends type of thing. Now, not everybody was there all the time, and they had multiple musicians. There's a lot, like both Ian Stewart and Nicky Hopkins, who are famous keyboard and piano players that played with like everybody, every like British rock band out there, both play on this album. Like they're both on, so there's tons of people. Like Bobby Keys is on this album. They actually brought Bobby to France. He was like, he didn't know what was going on. He was like, they were like, can you want to come and live at Keith's house in France? And he was like, are you kidding? Summertime, with
I don't
France,
know.
gorgeous women, half naked, laying all over the place. I'm in the biggest rock band in the world. Yes,
No.
I'm going.
The answer is no.
But anyways, before they left to go there, they did do a little farewell tour in England. Yeah, to kind of
That
like
was nice
yeah.
of them. Like we're leaving, don't tell anybody.
And they did bring their families. So everybody was there. At this time, Keith was with Anita Pallenberg, and we're going to talk about her at some point here. They loved England. They did not want to move. It was not something that they were looking forward to. There's video. They're interviewed where it's very obvious they're not happy about the situation. So these were just very. Oh, the only guy who was really looking forward to it was Mick Taylor and Bobby Keys. And Mick Taylor was like, he was a newer Stone. He had replaced
Brian. Yeah.
And so it was still all kind of new and shiny and exciting to him, But he was really excited by it. But there was all kind of problems with the humidity and the electricity. But what started to happen was because they built this kind of vibe there, they started to be very creative. And this music started to kind of come out, and they would just jam on chord progression or riff for really long time. Marshall Chess, who's their label rep, came down 1 week and then came back the next week, and they were still working on the same song. He was really upset.
A week later,
he's like, most bands go in 3 days and have it all, have all the songs written and you're ready to go. They're working on the same song for 2 weeks. But Keith assured him that the best way this band works is when they don't think they're actually working.
Right.
That's
fucking around.
Yeah. That's exactly how they kind of ran it. And they just and Keith said, he says, my only concern was we just kept the tape rolling. Just keep the tape rolling, because you don't know what you're going to get. Yeah.
Catch some magic.
Exactly. And they had been, at this point, they had been a big rock band for a number of years. They had toured the world several times, and especially America. They loved America, and the music on this album is so eclectic because they sort of just had absorbed all this folk music from around the world, but primarily America, and they were just sort of playing around with that.
Yeah.
And there's some stuff on here that is very straight up rockabilly.
Right. Exactly.
Things like that. They just, they were just kind of down for anything. As Lily said, there's many guest musicians. We could talk about that. So they had, they were there all summer. But by mid-September, 8 guitars, a bass, and a saxophone had been stolen. And before fall hit in, everybody really left, and Keith and Anita they were afraid of getting busted. And Anita's on record as saying something to the effect that it was a real shame at the time because there was nowhere you could go do drugs and not get busted. Right. You have to understand, at this time, drugs and rock were synonymous, and the governments of the world were really frowned on drugs, and they took it as a kind of point of pride to try to bust these people that were so counterculture, who they thought were screwing up society. So they all left so they wouldn't get into any kind of trouble or anything like that, and they ended up going to LA, but they only had a lot of the stuff was just fragments.
Right.
So when it really the album gets assembled in Los Angeles. And this is where they kind of do the more serious work. But there is stuff on there that is just it is right from there. Like the basic tracks are from that basement in Elcott. That is basically what you're hearing. I mentioned the documentary Stones in Exile. There's a member from the band the Kings of Leon, and I don't remember his name. He's interviewed about this, and he says I had no idea. He says I assumed that they were in Memphis or somewhere.
Right.
He says it sounds like or in Mississippi or somewhere, it has that kind
the
of
bluesy,
that really
southern,
really southern blues kind of sound. They went through hours and hours of all tapes and started putting things together. Keith would mix a song, then Mick would go in and mix it, and they would fight. They would get mad at each other. One of the things, so there's a lot of kind of cutting and pasting and putting things together, and then coming in and adding a little thing here and a little thing there. There's background vocals were added. I believe Ry Cooder is playing some guitar in this album as well. But to get the lyrics, he was doing stream as they were cutting these demos or whatever in France. He's just kind of making up some stuff. He had some notes, but nothing really firm on a lot of these songs. And so Mick so what they had written cutouts with lines with lyrics on them, and they were just moving them around on
Literally
the floor.
the manual cutting and pasting.
Yeah, and they were just moving them around on the floor, and that goes with that. And put that in that song, and I found that so fascinating. As a musician myself, a songwriter myself, I find that just absolutely. If you get a chance, watch the documentary Stones in Exile. Do we want to? Now, this album has the songs, like a lot of great songs on it. It is not the album with their biggest hits per se.
Oh yeah. No.
But there is 2 songs that are absolutely all-time classics that you would hear on the local rock station here in Pittsburgh, I'm sure, every single day. But why don't we go ahead, Lily? You want to talk about the tracks real quick?
Sure. Side 1, Rocks Off, opening song. Recorded between July 71 and 72. It's one of the songs on the album that was recorded at the Villa. The lyrics of the song are sort of difficult to hear on this one because all of the vocals were mixed very low. And it was described suggestive disassociation as if from intravenous drug injection is what I was reading. The song's mix is notoriously haphazard, as many instruments and even the lead vocals fade in and out of prominence. The Villa's basement, where many of the songs were recorded, was extremely hot, and many of the guitars could not stay in tune as a result. So, and some say that the song actually perfectly sets the mood for what's to follow. So, the murky, gritty, and menacingly raw sound that comes from the rest of the album. Is that all?
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to get, you don't have to go crazy on it. Just get the beat, because there's a lot of songs here. We're going to go through this kind of quickly.
Okay.
Rip this joint.
One of the fastest songs. Sort of a rockabilly feel.
Some people say this might be their fastest song. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true.
It was the song was played frequently by the Stones throughout the early mid-70s, appeared on the concert film Ladies and Gentlemen, the Rolling Stones. Before disappearing completely from their set list, the song was reintroduced to the band's set list at various club dates in Europe on the 1995 Voodoo Lounge tour. The song was included as the closing track to the Stones' 75 compilation album, and the song was played in the opening scene of the film Way of the Gun. An American pop band, Green Day, has performed the song on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon.
Okay. Now there are a couple of covers, I believe, on this, but this is one of them.
Shake Your Hips.
Yeah.
Originally written by Slim Harpo, who was a Louisiana bluesman. The Rolling Stones recorded the song from their album Exile on Main Street. It was Mick Jagger's idea to record it for the album. It was recorded to sound like a 50s record. Or that.
That's not what it... No.
I do have a fun thing about one of the songs when we get to it.
Okay.
The next song, Casino Boogie.
Casino Boogie. Now, song like Shake Your Hips and songs like Rip This Joint, Kev, I don't know, Lily, if you are old enough to remember, but there was a time when bands would not obligatorily, but very often would put some kind of traditional song or traditional arrangement. We always talk about the song. We'll talk about that album by R.E.O.S.P. by High Infidelity, and they have a song In Your Letter, which is a kind of traditional 50s doo-wop kind of thing, right?
Okay.
And there's tons of bands, Led Zeppelin, has several albums where they do just a straight blues song,
Right.
Because and it was very common at that time when you go see a band live. There was a lot of times the band would do a blues jam, even though they weren't, and a lot of even heavy bands did stuff like that. So people were accustomed to bands doing this sort of where we're gonna put a rootsy thing out here for you. You know what I mean? A rockabilly thing or a country thing or a blues thing. It wasn't crazy, it wasn't out there at all, and you wouldn't have really been criticized for putting a couple of those on your album. People would it was kind of expected, especially if you had a kind of feet in the blues already, so I'm just wanting to put that in context. That was something that was,
It's nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, wouldn't have been nothing. Now, this next song is my lyrics with Loudini this week, so I want to talk about it. I love this song. Go ahead.
Tumbling Dice.
Yeah.
A product of Mick Jagger and Keith Richards' songwriting partnership. It has a blues boogie woogie rhythm that scholars and musicians have noted for its unusual tempo and groove. Not sure what that means. I'm sure you can elaborate on that a little more. The lyrics are about a gambler who cannot remain faithful to any woman. The song is the lead single from the album. Spent 8 weeks on the UK charts, peaking at number 5. In US, it peaked at number 7.
Okay. Sweet Virginia, not to be confused with Meat Virginia.
Right. It's a slow country-inspired song written by Jagger and Richards. The song featured a harmonica solo by Jagger and a saxophone solo by Bobby Keys. And I don't really have anything.
Is
more
this the
interesting.
one, wipe the shit right off your shoes? Is it Sweet Virginia that has the got to wipe the shit right off your shoes? I think that's it. Torn and Frayed.
Twangy 3-chord honky tonk, but not really country.
Maybe that's the song I'm thinking of. I get them mixed up.
It's the most overtly Parsons influenced cut the Stones ever recorded, with a country soul flavor.
Parsons in reference to Graham Parsons.
Yes, sorry.
Yep.
Reminiscent of the Parsons front.
Who, Graham Parsons, by the way, is in the video footage of Mick and Bianca's wedding.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, it is a reminiscent of the Parsons-fronted Flying Burrito Brothers from the 1969 album The Gilded Palace of Sin. It follows,
Oh, boy.
It follows a vagabond-like guitar player whose coat is torn and frayed.
Oh.
It was also covered by the Black Crowes. There it is. Oh, the song, one last time it was played was in Pittsburgh, June 23rd, 2012. I wanted to throw that out there.
Cool. Sweet Black Angel.
Here we go,
Which I love the name.
Pittsburgh. Here we go.
Black and Gold Angel.
It was also released on a single as the B-side to Tumbling Dice prior to the album. The song features a West Indian rhythm, one of the few outright political songs released by the Rolling Stones. Jagger was inspired to write the song after seeing a poster of civil rights activist Angela Davis. Though Angela Davis is not mentioned in the name of the lyrics of the song call Justice for Davis. At the time, Davis was facing murder charges.
Take a little sip from my lovin' cup.
An early version of Loving Cup with a completely different piano intro was recorded between April 1969 at the Olympic Sound Studios in London during the Let It Bleed sessions. After the release of Exile on Main Street, Alan Klein sued the Rolling Stones for breach of settlement because Loving Cup and 4 other songs on the album were composed while Jagger and Richards were under contract with his company. I'm going to call it just ABCO because that's what I'm calling it.
Okay. Now, side 3. So that's two sides, okay?
Yep.
That's the first
That's
disc.
a lot of damn songs.
That's a lot of damn songs, okay?
Wait, there's more.
And there's a whole bunch more. Some of the highlights, though, on the album are for sure Rocks Off, Tumblin' Dice, Sweet Virginia, Lovin' Cup. And this next song is unique because this is one of the few songs in the band that Keith is known for on vocals.
Yep. Second single from the album, written primarily by Keith Richards. Trying to go past stuff I don't want to read. According to Richards, we did that in an afternoon in only 4 hours, cut and done. At noon, it never existed. At 4 o'clock, it was on tape. Was the only single by the band to chart on the Hot 100, while Richards sang lead.
Oh.
He often sings Happy in concert and has become one of his signature tunes. Performances on the song through 78 also featured Jagger's voice in the chorus.
Yeah, Jag. Yeah, old
Jag.
Jag. He
Jag,
comes
yeah.
on up there. Hey, yo, Jag, you gonna sing along Keith today? They wrote that. He wrote that. I need a love is Anita, and it's a reference to Anita Pallenberg.
That's nice.
That's a weird relationship. You know that story?
I don't.
That's
I don't know
Brian
anything about
Jones'
Oh,
girlfriend.
Oh.
I didn't know.
And then they fire him, and Keith thinks his girlfriend of him. And then the guy kills himself.
Wow, so that's a whole thing.
Yeah, it's a kind of weird thing. I don't have what's Turd on the Run.
Okay, so this is where I have a fun story. I actually found a whole article on this.
Turd on the Run.
No, it's not that at all.
I found an article from Far Out Magazine. It hardly has any information on it otherwise.
Oh man.
The guy in the article said everything about
Far Out magazine.
Right.
Only Lily reads Far Out magazine.
I only read
they've
it
got
once.
one subscriber, and it's
Yeah, it's
Lily.
Lily.
Reads
Oh, shut the hell up.
Far Out magazine.
He says everything about Turd on the Run is shrouded in either mystery or indifference. The exact lineup for Master Take is uncertain, putting Mick Taylor's participation into question, and the band's never attempted it live. Not even revivals from acts like Pussy Galore and Fisher are enough to move the needle. What gives? Why is Turd on the Run barely mentioned within the Rolling Stones' history, especially given its prominent place on Exile? Maybe it's because, as you could possibly guess from the title, it's just one big poop joke.
Yeah.
This is made clear in the second verse when Jagger hangs on tight as the center of his affections make off with his diamonds, leaving him with only a single parting gift, venereal disease.
Aww.
But basically that's it.
I thought they wrote it about like the toilet overflowing.
Well, it's
Well,
sort of about potty humor.
You have a much more simplistic view of life than
I just know what I see.
a plunger.
There it is.
This next song, Ventilator Blues, should have been remade during the pandemic by somebody.
Wow. Marks one of the only 2 times guitarist Mick Taylor was given credit alongside regular Stones scribes Jagger and Richards. The second time being the song Crisscross, which was not officially released until 2020. The song itself is it's bluesy. It's kind of low. Jagger double tracks the lead vocal, a studio technique rarely used in the Rolling Stones recordings. They have performed this song live only once at Pacific Coliseum in Vancouver, British Columbia in 1972.
Wow.
That's how much they like it.
Yes.
I just want to see his face as a kind of like gospel kind of thing,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't have anything on that? What about
Not
Let
much.
It Loose?
An emotional gospel blues ballad with a fervent religious feeling.
Right, Henry!
Apparently, Jagger was attending church services of the Reverend James Cleveland and remained deeply impressed by the singing of the gospel choir, which is what inspired him to write songs like this one and the last one. So.
I gotta tell you, man. Speaking of Mick Jagger, if we're getting to the last side here, if you've never seen Get On Up, the story of James Brown, Mick Jagger produced thing, you gotta see it.
Yeah.
It's a whole other level. All down the line.
This song at one point was to be the lead single from the album. It was ultimately released as a single as the B-side of Happy. It's electric rock song, open side 4. Acoustic version of the song was recorded in '69 during the early sessions of what would be Sticky Fingers. The Rolling Stones gave a Los Angeles radio station a demo, and they played it while they drove around and listened to it on the radio.
That was so nice.
I know, right?
Stop breaking down, Lily. This is the
Just
other
another
cover.
cover, yeah. Delta Blues song recorded by Robert Johnson in '37.
Yeah.
Upbeat boogie song, strong chorus line. I don't know. That's all boring stuff.
And this next song is another. I mean, this song. I think the album has a lot of highlights, and I think this song is an awesome.
Oh well, that's
song.
a good one.
I love this song.
Written about founding
Shine
band
a Light.
member.
It's called Shine a Light.
Yes, Shine a Light. Written about Brian Jones. It was reworked and released following his death in '69. It was credited to usual Stones writer Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, but it was largely Mick Jagger. Jagger began writing the song in early '68 when the Stones still had guitarist Brian Jones as a member. The song was originally titled "Get a Line on You," and it talks about his drug addiction,
Right.
of course, and his detachment from the rest of the band. The final version featured Jagger on vocals, Stones producer Jimmy Miller on drums instead of Watts, and Mick Taylor on electric guitar and bass guitar.
Wow.
I believe the producer is also playing drums on Happy.
Okay, I didn't get
I
that.
think.
But
I
that could
think.
be.
I'm not sure.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Because this was one of those songs that, like, he said, that like the germ of it was laid down, without anybody else there. It was Bobby
Right.
Keys was staying
Yeah.
there, and the
Yeah.
producer was staying
You're
there.
correct.
And so he came. So he said, why don't I come out and just play drums on this? And that's actually ended up being the drum track that's on there.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's my thought on that. So this is an awesome album. And I should let's just kind of like also mention that the album was criticized for not having a clear direction.
Right.
That was the initial sort of knee jerk. And hey, face it, man, it doesn't have,
I thought it was kind of themed per side. But that's just
Okay,
me.
all right. Well, that's why I look at but just like it isn't. It really, the singles and the hits, etc., feel incidental. It feels like these guys were just like, look, we're just jamming in a basement, and this is
Exactly.
what we made.
Right.
And some of it happened to be super radio friendly and become like Happy and Tumbling Dice. Those songs have become like staples. Like
Yeah.
the big rock station in Pittsburgh plays those songs, I'm sure, every single day.
Exactly.
I'm sure you hear this. If you listen 24 hours, you will hear you will hear both those songs.
Hey,
every
Michelle.
single day. Yeah, exactly.
Just play Happy for me.
Exactly.
I'm down in Blowing Ox.
Oh my God! Stop.
Since we are talking about this album and my lyrics with Loudini is from this album, I'm gonna just go ahead and get into that now instead of the new and notable.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear what Lily came up with for this. I love hearing her,
My what?
like the songs,
like
the bands or whatever you
Oh,
come up with.
why?
I do, because I love them. And that band that you talked about last week,
You like them?
yeah, and turns out I had them. I was already subscribed to their YouTube channel like years ago, and I had forgotten.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Was it what
glad I
LA
could remind
maybe
you.
or maybe
No,
LA?
it was,
that was the week before.
No, I can't remember who it is. It's the Rush Lake
Sorry.
Band. Why can't I
The
think
two
of their
guys. There's a
Oh,
guitar
yeah,
player,
yeah.
And he plays the bass pedals with
Fudge
the
Sickles. What is
the Fudge Sickles. That's their name.
The Fudge Sickles,
It's not
everybody.
that.
No?
It's the Fudge Sickles. No, it actually is the Fudge Sickles.
It's not.
That is their name.
People, please don't look up the Fudge
But
Sickles.
this was Keith had come up with this riff and Mick worked with the words and they worked it together and this is a classic Mick and Keith song.
Right.
Okay. And it's beautiful. This riff is beautiful. The song is beautiful and it's tough and it's melodic and it's bluesy. It's like got like
Right. It's all
got
in
everything.
there, yeah.
It's all in there. So oh my goodness. So let's get into it. Well, of course, it wouldn't be a rock and roll song if it didn't start out with yeah, woo woo.
I really like that beginning though.
Right there, it's going to be good. If it starts with yeah, woo
This is
woo.
going to be good.
Women think I'm tasty, but they're always trying to waste me. Okay, there you are. There's a good rhyme scheme.
Oh, man.
Make me burn the candle right down, but baby, don't you need no jewels in my crown? Cause all you women is low down. Cause all you women is I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah,
It sounds like
say
it
right,
should be
say
said with
right.
like a kind of like a traditional African American person's
Sure, 'cause
accent.
yeah.
Cause all you women is low down gamblers. That's what it sounds
It
like, right?
should be like that, yeah.
Cheating like I don't know how. Baby, got no flavor. Fever in the funk house now. Dang.
All I think about is Flavor Flav.
This low down bitchin' got poor feet a itching. You know the deuce is still wild.
Oh boy.
Baby, I can't stay. You got to roll me and call me the tumbling dice. Always in a hurry, never stop to worry. You got to see me flashing by. So the dude is like, hey man, he's a Rolling Stone, literally.
Right.
Legit.
I mean, the song is perfect. It's about a Rolling Stone. It's a great song, and it's by the Rolling Stones.
It's like it was written for them.
Yeah.
Weird.
Exactly. Honey, got no money. I'm all 6s, 7s, and 9s. Say now, baby, I'm the rank outsider. You could be my partner in crime.
Yay.
So, in other words, like, I don't have any money. Like, my luck is shit, but, I'm the rank outsider. Like, I'm so low, like, I'm the guy you got to be with.
Right.
Baby, I can't stay. You got to roll me. Call me the tumbling. Roll me. Call me the tumbling dice now, baby. Oh, my. I'm the lone crap shooter. Playing the field every night. Baby, I can't stay. You got to roll me. Call me the tumbling dice. Call me the tumbling. You got to roll me. You got to roll me. You got to roll me. Oh, yeah. And call me the tumbling dice. Yeah, you got to roll me. You got to roll me. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Now.
Hold on now.
I went down, baby. You got to roll me, baby. I'm down. So,
Oh my goodness.
he's like saying, you got it. You don't get too attached.
Right?
We're gonna do the dirty, but you gotta this is how it's gonna be.
Yes.
You know, Mick was a player. He's known as what they call a player.
No.
Yeah, I think he was.
Nah.
No, I'm pretty sure.
So, I wanted to talk
we're doing a
about
thing here.
Here we go.
Keith's guitar work on this.
Uh-huh.
In order to play any kind of most of the great classic Keith Richards riffs, you have to retune the guitar to his tuning.
Yes.
Oh, he had his own.
Oh my God, he's several.
Oh, well, there's that.
And I was not hip to retuning the guitar at all. I grew up in the era before there were any kind of electronic tuners. Now, there were strobe tuners, but they were wildly expensive.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, big rock stars had those. Most musicians didn't have them. So you needed a tuning fork or you needed a piano or something.
Sounds awful.
And then you would have to tune the guitar. So when so I'm reading about, Keith Richards and Jimmy Page and some of these guys, and they're playing alternate tunings. I'm like, well, how do they ever get it back to tune again?
Exactly, right?
Like, I was terrified. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm having enough trouble learning the notes in regular tuning.
Yeah, standard
This is going to
tuning.
screw me up.
So is this a common concern by all guitar players?
I don't know. I'm just talking.
I've
I'm
never,
venting my
never
personal
done alternate
fears.
tuning.
But the key, but and the cool thing about this, yes, they are in alternate tunings. So this one, Honky Tonk Woman, Start Me Up.
Start me up, I was going to say.
What is it, Kevin? Can't You Hear Me Knocking?
Yeah.
That's not right because that's not the right tuning for it. But
Oh,
are
Keith.
all in alternate, different tunings.
Huh.
It's So, and when you tune the guitar to the correct tuning, you're like, God damn, I sound just
That's
like
it.
Keith Richards.
That's it.
You're like,
That's
this
it.
sounds
Yeah.
so good.
Right?
It's like, but you can fudge regular tuning on most of his songs and
Right.
kind of get through the song.
Yeah, I didn't get past the tuning part on my guitar lessons, so thus I don't play.
So if you're at a jam night and somebody wants to do something, you can get
can
around
still
it.
get around
you
it.
have
Yeah,
to stop and wait. I got to tune. So I was terrified of the tuning thing. So I something I never did. So I'm not good at it at all. I have anxiety right now because the guitar is tuned to open G, and I'm
jeez.
have anxiety because am I ever going to be able to get it back to regular tuning again?
Yeah.
Yes, I know I have a tuner. I will get it back, but it's just one of those things that it sticks in my craw.
Yeah, it's embedded
So
in there.
so it's and I believe the how it works out is that the notes end up becoming D, B, D, G, B, and D. So it's an open G chord.
Oh, it's an open G chord. Okay, yeah.
I believe that's right. I've been drinking, so who knows?
It's going to
Speaking of
sound real
drinking.
good. Hey, everybody out there, you start drinking too.
And it'll sound a lot
It'll
better.
sound great.
So Keith's, that's an amazing riff.
Yes.
And it's just a lot of open strings. And when you tune to the correct tuning, it all the notes sort of fall under your fingers.
Right.
Just real nice.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes me feel like he was playing around with the different tunings and just they started putting his fingers places and
Yeah,
go,
I'm like,
well,
oh, that sounds
cool. I
good.
like that. You can always
Exactly, right?
see how he put it
Now
together.
you understand. Yeah.
But yeah, that's I just thought it was really interesting, and I didn't want to get too technical about the stuff on the guitar, but for you lay folk out there, the guitar has a standard tuning. Keith was very often would play around with that and do different tunings, and this is why some of his riffs sound so freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Huh.
and this just real quick, this I had figured that out or had was able to play that on the guitar when I was pretty young. But I had no idea how to play the rest of it, because the rest of it then gets into where the strings are tuned a different way.
Exactly. You're like,
So I
oh,
was
wait,
kind of
how's he
fudging
doing
something
that?
kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But, again, it's just really neat mix of a lot of different feels, a kind of an R&B thing with a, I don't know, real melodic, beautiful kind of thing, too. There's a lot
nice
going on.
flow to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, of course, a great feel. I mean, like, the Stones always had that sort of, like, just kind of like that super kind of laid back behind the beat. Like, what I heard it described as, like, in most bands, everybody follows the drummer, but in the Stones, everybody follows Keith, including Charlie Watts. And so that which gives them that sort of, like, kind of,
swagger.
slinky
Yeah,
kind
very-
of thing where the timing feels like it's kind of floating around, but still grooves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is Tumblin' Dice by the Rolling Stones. Check out the documentary Stones in Exile. You guys
Very
will really
interesting.
like that.
Yeah.
So check that out. Okay, so let's move on to our new and notable. And Lily, I don't know what yours is, so I'm really excited
mystery.
to hear. And by the way, guys, I hope you're sticking around, because at the end we are going to address any comments, questions. So if you have comments, questions, you have ideas. You know what I'd like to hear? I'd like to throw me something you'd like to see on a T-shirt, like a saying or something.
Lord.
We got to do something.
Balls deep.
Yeah.
Balls deep.
Now we built these titties on rock and roll. I still think that would
Sounds like a good idea. Not always.
So we're doing our new, and so this is where we like try to introduce you guys to maybe something new that we discovered and thought was really cool, and maybe you would like it too. So Lily, what you got?
Well, I am going to talk about a singer specifically. It's Diamante. I know she's been around since 2013, but I feel like she's often overlooked. And recently, she has changed her. She's known for that really bright blue, beautiful hair. She's recently changed it to a very platinum blonde, and she's looking more supermodel-ish. More like
Supermodel-ish.
a bombshell than a punk. She really in 2015
Kind of like a punk shell.
punk shell.
Oh, there you go.
In 2015, she released the Dirty Blonde EP, and the singles Goodbye and Bite Your Kiss were released in 2013 and 2014. Her first widely released work was in 2017 with the single Haunted, not Poop.
Not poop.
Her album Coming in Hot was released under Better Noise Records in 2018. I hate you. Which featured,
That was a better noise than
which
last.
featured the songs Sleepwalking and War Cry. In 2017, she provided the backing vocals on All That Remains cover. This one's something to pay attention to.
Come on.
Backing vocals on the All That Remains cover of Garth Brooks' song The Thunder Rolls, which is a great cover.
Dang.
In 2018, she provided guest vocals on the Bad Wolves song Hear Me Now, which I love that band. And on January 17, 2020, she announced her departure from Better Noise Music and released the single Obvious. And her second studio album came out in April 2021. It's called American Dream. And no, she was going in to record then. It was supposed to be out May 7th of 2021. I have not listened to it yet. It is on my list of things to listen to, so hopefully it's amazing. But I do love her voice. I got to see her live once where I was photographing her at Star Lake, and she's just amazing on stage. And I think her voice is just gorgeous.
Who was she playing with?
It was her own thing. She had her own band.
No.
Oh, you mean who was she opening for?
Yeah.
It was also Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
And
Because she was touring with White.
Dorothy.
Okay. Oh, okay. Because
Dorothy,
she
okay.
did tour with Whitesnake
Yeah.
at one time too.
Yeah.
Kevin and I are very familiar with Diamante. Wiz was like somebody that we were when we played music on here before we knew we weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
We played
Good old
Diamante's
days.
music about 12 years ago or something. Like that.
She is continuing to do stuff, though, so I think I just want to keep her out in the open.
I think that's a really good pick.
Yes.
This band right here is a band that I think that a lot of people who are like target demographic would like.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is a band called Iconic.
Oh, it's Marco Mendoza.
It's got Michael Sweet, Joel Hoekstra, Marco Mendoza, and Tommy Aldridge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
And
All of them
it's
guys.
what they call supergroup, of course. It's called Iconic.
Is it the conventional spelling IC?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
it's a conventional spelling. This is the only problem with the band is the name, because when you search Iconic,
Oh, yeah.
you don't get this at all. And then so I was like, okay, I'll search Iconic Band. Well, then it comes up with like
all the
Cream
iconic
and Led
bands.
Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. Oh, yes, those are iconic bands. I get
Yes, yes.
it.
I hate when that happens.
So like they should have called themselves,
Or with a
Iconic
K.
Iconic Tonic, or
Yeah.
iconic,
Something
something
catchy.
like, what I mean. So I think you guys are, I hate when that happens. Like there's other bands that like,
Let's name our band Live.
yeah, it's
Why?
really fun. Yeah, so if you search live band, well,
Right,
live band's
exactly.
playing,
Yeah,
it's
right,
like,
yeah,
right, exactly.
You'll find all the shows.
But of course, this features Michael Sweet on guitar, more or less, with Nathan James is actually the lead singer. But they do trade off, and they do have really good harmonies. The album I don't believe has been released yet, but they do have a single called "Nowhere to Run," and you can find it on YouTube. So guys should definitely check it out. I have a link in the show notes to some more detailed information on it. But if you like, how can I put it? It is very kind of like, the song. Their song is very rooted in like classic rock / 80s rock kind of sound.
Okay.
But without it's kind of still kind of has like a modern kind of vibe.
Okay.
I don't know how else to explain it. So you should check them out. I think I think you guys like our show and the topics we pick with the different bands we talk about, Van Halen, Aerosmith, the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, blah, blah, blah. I think like this is something that like you're going to go, oh, this is cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think you guys would dig
Legit.
it. I do like the song "Nowhere to Run." I think it's a good effort. I think it's cool. So I'm glad that they are out there doing their thing. Oh my goodness! Have you heard about this project, Lily? You never heard about it?
I briefly did, but I didn't actually know everybody who was in it. I saw Marco Mendoza in the photo. I'm like, oh, I've interviewed him.
Yep.
He was in Dead Daisies for a hot second.
There you go.
Yeah, a lot of these guys play with a lot of different people. There's a kind of
Well, it's a super group, so
yeah, and I think I think how this probably is. I think they're all Nashville guys, and I think that's probably how they got jamming together. But
nice. Oh,
this
there it
day
is.
and what the Beatles did.
And there it is.
Here we go.
On this day in 1960, this is May 10th, my birthday.
Yeah.
On
Good things
1960, the
happen.
Silver Beatles.
What?
Lennon, McCartney, Harrison, Stuart Sutcliffe, and Tommy Moore auditioned for promoter Larry Parnes and singer Billy Fury for a job as Fury's backup group. Parnes was also looking for backup groups for his lesser-known acts, and the Silver Beatles were selected as a backing group for singer Johnny Gentle's upcoming tour of Scotland. The group had changed its name from the
Beatles.
to the Silver Beatles after Brian Casser of Cass and the Casanovas remarked that the name Beatles was ridiculous, and it is. I suggested to use their name Long John and the Silver Beatles.
That's hot.
Let's call
But
ourselves
John
the
Lennon
Beatles.
refused to be referred to as Long John.
You know, that was a great call.
You may
think
have
so.
missed the boat there.
I don't know.
Speaking of Long John, Chuck Berry.
There-
The Rolling
oh.
Stones recorded the Chuck Berry song "Come On" at Olympic Studios in London. This band's first release was issued on the 7th of June, 1963. So this was like this was their first release. It was a cover of Chuck Berry in 1963.
Wow. Nice.
The Stones. The Rolling Stones again recorded a
Yeah.
version of "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" Chess Records in Chicago on this day with Brian Jones on harmonica. On this day in 1965, Mick Jagger and Keith Richards appeared at the Chester Crown Court, Sussex, charged with being in possession of drugs.
Surprise.
They elect to go to trial pleading not guilty and were both granted £100 bail. 1960 stay in 1967.
Nice.
Okay, so let's get away from the Beatles and the Rolling Stones for a second and talk about another band you may have heard of called Led Zeppelin. They
I've
made
heard
their
of them.
first
There you
appearance
go,
on
sure.
the UK album chart when the band's debut album charted at number 6, going on to spend 71 weeks on the UK
Nice.
chart.
Man.
It entered the US chart the following week at number 10. Recorded in around 36 hours, the album is now considered one of the most important debuts in rock, creating entirely new interpretation evolution of the rock and roll genre with groundbreaking musical styles and recording techniques on this day in 1969, dudes.
Oh boy.
This day in 1969, also Frank Sinatra's version of My Way made it to the British top 10 for the first time.
Wow. Took you long enough.
Okay. Belinda Carlisle.
There's someone we don't talk
All girl group 1985. We're skipping way ahead. The Go-Go's announced they were breaking up
about.
on this day. But Belinda Carlisle and Joan Weedland went on to like really big success. Jane
Weedland.
Jean? Did I say Jean?
You said Joan.
That's okay.
Joan?
That's her younger sister.
It's close enough.
Rock Me Amadeus
Oh.
was number one by Falco.
Falco? Yeah.
On the UK singles charts this day in 1986. Wow. I don't know. I think the song is kind of infectious. Like
That's the problem.
I crank it up.
Exactly.
And speaking of, another song I think is really infectious is this one by the Pet Shop Boys, West End Girls.
West End Bridge.
Number one, yeah. I say West End Bridge. East End Girls ain't going down the West End Bridge.
This is why.
Sorry, Lois.
East End boys going down the West End Bridge. I think he's one of them East End boys going down the West End Bridge, if you know what I'm talking about.
That sounds dirty.
This was the Pet Shop Boys. And I had a friend who was living, she was bartending in London when this song came out.
Nice.
And she said the song accurately depicts this idea of the East End girls.
Yeah.
And West End, West End girl, East End boys and West End girls. Tommy Lee, Motley Crue drummer, married TV star Heather Locklear.
Wow.
Even after he said, "I love you" in that show, The Fall Guy.
And Nikki Sixx was so drugged up he doesn't even remember the wedding.
That's nice. That's beautiful. That's love.
Truth or Dare by Madonna with the documentary.
Did you ever see that?
No.
Yep.
It's very interesting.
Shel Silverstein, you remember him?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
A lot of people do not realize.
I remember him
Wow.
well.
There he goes.
I met him at the deli. Oh.
Well, where the mutton was really nice
Here we
and
go.
lean.
All right.
Sure.
I cannot stand you two.
Sorry.
Bacon, lettuce, and mutton when the mutton's like.
Bagel and lox.
We'll throw a little gabagool on top. It's.
Oh, now we're mixing.
now we're crossbreeding. Okay, never mind.
You know, Cher actually has a song called Half Breed.
Yes.
Yes.
I love that song.
Big hit.
Why didn't that should have been on our list of politically incorrect songs. That is like way out. That remember, and also the Cherokee people.
Yeah.
The Cherokee Nation. It's called Cherokee
Cherokee
Nation, but the
Nation.
chorus is Cherokee. But Shel Silverstein, who was known as a poet, cartoonist, screenwriter, author of children's books, died of a heart attack at the age of 57, 1999. He wrote A Boy Named Sue for Johnny Cash.
Wow, okay.
And he wrote cover of the Rolling Stone for Dr. Hook.
Dr. Hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that, though.
Bobby Brown, not that Bobby Brown, Lily, don't get
different
excited,
one.
was arrested at Newark Airport, New Jersey for breaking his probation order. He had been wanted in Florida since 99 for his probation officer reported that a urine test proved positive for cocaine.
No, not Bobby Brown.
Michael Bolton lost
Oh, here we go.
I always thought that Bolton.
Ass hat.
Bolton. He was lost his appeal against a court ruling that he stole part of his 91 hit "Love Is a Wonderful Thing" from the Isley Brothers song. Bolton had asked for a retrial following a 94 jury verdict that he had plagiarized parts of the Isley Brothers song of the same name. It was the same name and everything, dude. Come on. But an appeals court panel upheld the ruling, which awarded the group $5.4 million for the profits of Bolton's song, one of his biggest hits.
Ouchie.
That's one of those things. That's one of those, like, there's a podcast, 10 rock songs that prove crime doesn't pay. This song
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Oh, what's that one that Tom Petty sued over? It was a ripoff of Won't Back Down.
I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. And
The Verve with
the Verve
yeah.
with
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you know. Oh, man. Okay. This day, 2013, heavy metal. Okay.
Teddy Metal.
Teddy Metal.
Teddy Metal. There's a band name.
Baby Metal.
Oh my.
2-year degree in heavy metal music was branded as an easy option by education campaigners. The foundation degree was being offered by a New College Nottingham in the UK. The course, which was due to start later this year, would include modules on the music business, the history of heavy metal, and its role in films and video games, and would show students how to compose and perform heavy metal songs. So you could literally get a degree in heavy metal at this
Why
college.
did I not get that? Now I'm sad for going to art school.
See? What did you
I
learn?
go to art school.
Nothing. I'm a receptionist now.
2 men were arrested in Dublin on this day in 2013.
Why?
Because they were accused of pushing over the statue of Phil Lynott.
Ah!
I remember when that happened.
They should have been murdered. String them up.
Wow.
Yeah. No, that's Phil.
Happy birthday today, guys.
To who? To who, Lou? Lou, whose birthday's today, Lou?
Bert Whedon. Bert Whedon was born this day in 1920, and he wrote a lot of guitar books that Eric Clapton, Brian May, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, John Lennon, Keith Richards learned out of.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh. He ain't no Mel Bay.
Wow.
My eyes watering.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Mike Melvoin, American jazz pianist, was born this day. Played with Frank Sinatra, John Lennon, Tom Waits, Barbra Streisand. Oh, my goodness gracious. Henry Fambro from American Rhythm and Blues, a vocal group, the Detroit Spinners, who had the 80 #1 and #2 hit in the UK, Working My Way Back to You.
Oh, there you go.
I like that
That's
song.
a
Roller
good
skated
one.
to that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Donovan, singer-songwriter and guitarist who scored 66 #1 and 67 #2 singles, Sunshine Superman. Mellow Yellow reached #2 the following year. And Hurdy-Gurdy Man reaching the top 5.
Father of Ione Sky, everybody.
Nice.
Yes.
I like Ione Sky.
I do too. I miss her.
Dave Mason from the band Traffic. I was
Sure.
just jamming to a Low Spark of High Heel Boys
Remember
earlier
that
today.
The other day. Oh, we did it the other day.
English singer-songwriter Dave Mason. Traffic, 67. Hole in My Shoe solo. We just disagree. Remember, we just disagree. That was a big pop hit. Worked with many notable musicians, including Eric Clapton, George Harrison, Jimi Hendrix, Fleetwood Mac. Jay Ferguson from the group Spirit. I Got a Line on You. Happy birthday to Jay today. Michael Bolton, again. Not Mike Bolton. Sorry, Mick Bolton.
Oh, so close.
This was keyboardist best known for playing with Mott the Hoople and Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Wow.
He had a kind of eclectic career there.
Yes, he did.
English rhythm and blues singer Lee Brillo, who sang with Dr. Feelgood in 79.
Not that one.
She does it right. Sly Dunbar session drummer.
I used to go to, what was his
Played
name
with Peter
again?
Tosh, Robert Palmer.
What was his name?
Sly Dunbar. Sid Vicious.
Oh, yes.
John Ritchie, a.k.a. Sid Vicious, bass and vocals of Sex Pistols, was born this day in 1957. She died of a heroin overdose on the 2nd of February, 79. So
You guys were born on the same day. Explains a lot.
Yeah.
I got this girl named Nancy you should meet.
Carl Hyde from the British electronic music group Underworld, who had the 96 #2 single, Born Slippy.
Was he from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, it's all slippy
It's
out
all
there.
slippy. Careful, Kay.
Just be careful. It's kind of slippy out there.
Don't be nebby.
Oh my gosh. I can't.
Irish singer-songwriter Paul Hewson, also known as Bono, was born this day in 1960.
Wow.
Do I need to say?
Are you serious? You guys are born on the same day?
Yeah. Bono and I have
That's
the same
awesome.
birthday. Yeah. Bono, love Bono. American musician Richard Patrick, guitarist with Filter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that, so that guy don't get shit.
He don't get mentioned.
He don't get dick.
I
Also,
hope
Brady
not.
Novotny says happy birthday. Tales of the Road Warriors says happy birthday.
Hey,
Bill
Tails.
Damiano
Hey.
says happy birthday, and Chris and
Raven?
Raven. Sorry, my
I'm paying
brain's broken. Also
Nice.
say happy birthday.
Excelente.
yeah, see.
It's,
Excelente.
Oh yes, John. Of course.
what's up, John? Thank you, John. Jeff Wargo. Rick Hopkins Jr.
I know Rick. He's from Leprosy, or not Leprosy. I always say that. It's Word Ordeal.
Wow, he has leprosy.
No, that's a band Leprosy, but he's not in it, and I always associate him with the band Leprosy,
Tales of
which
the
I
Road.
should not.
Tales of the Road Warriors. That's Hal.
Yes, I know.
I don't think I can do that, Dave.
Also, Rick is in Corpse God. It's a newer band.
Corpse God.
Yes.
You heavy metal guys, man, like you'll just name a band anything, won't you? You just like they just don't give a fuck.
What metal?
Metal up your ass.
Wow. That would be painful.
That went a lot faster than I thought it was gonna go. I thought this was gonna be like a long.
Where would they call professionals?
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
what
like
it's called.
a long, long podcast.
This
What?
podcast made me happy.
By the way, that the tax rate in England at that time,
Oh
and
my
I think
God.
it's still around this amount, 93%.
Yeah, is that nuts? So,
Well, that's socialism. That's
Yeah.
exactly what that is. That they don't, they get tons and tons of social programs, so they got that's how they pay for it.
That's great.
Anyways, I think that's about it. Next week, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, let's talk about this.
okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go and get into our shit here.
Oh, no.
So next week is the 16th, right?
That's what
Yeah.
they tell me.
Yeah.
10 rock and metal bands that never had a lineup change.
Oh, that'll be a good one there, you know. Oh, sure.
10 rock and metal bands.
That never had a lineup change.
And the podcast's on Monday there, you know. It's not Tuesday next week. It'll be the regular Monday event, you know. Right, Lou?
Yeah.
I'll
Okay, then.
Listen, I'll fax those VIN numbers over to you.
Right away.
Right
there,
away.
you
Let me find
Oh,
them. Let me
sure.
find them.
You just send it on a dinosaur if you're gonna fax it.
That's no, that's from.
Do you get... Hold
Fargo.
on. Shh. I was going to say,
sorry.
I was going to ask
I
before
never
we
really
even
got that.
that.
Obviously not.
Oh, he's fleeing the scene.
Yeah, I was doing the whole Fargo thing, but yeah. So 10 rock and metal bands, and you go like, no, that can't be. But there actually there are. There actually are.
I can't wait to research that.
Some
actually.
of
that'll be
them
fun.
don't exist anymore, but
What? No.
But that's okay.
and the 23rd is going to be our favorite Canadian rock bands that aren't
Oh.
Rush.
I'm gonna tell you what. I will be there, but I will be exhausted. But I will be there.
Okay.
Just give me a couple of shots. I'll be fine.
Okay.
There you go. That aren't Rush.
That
I
aren't
love
Rush.
that.
So no Rush,
There's- yeah,
okay?
there's
Because
still-
we
there's
know
still
right
some
now
good
it's like
ones.
between me, Keith, and Kevin, you know, we all love Rush. Exactly.
You can include Rush. I'm just.
And
gonna
we're
have them
going-
on my
For
and
list.
we're-
you, because we love you, we won't
Oh,
include
well, I love you
Rush.
guys back.
And we're going to round out May, because we're gonna do Memorial Day here. So we're gonna be having hot dogs and hamburgers and podcasting.
Oh, yummy.
Can we really?
Yeah.
Yay!
Noise.
7 powerful rock and metal songs about soldiers.
That's a good one. That'll be a good one, folks.
So
I'm gonna wear red, white, and blue.
Yes.
Bikini?
Yeah.
Nice. Me
Probably-
too.
Probably.
Now you know why I'm hidden. Ow.
You know, I mean, I can't take yins anywhere.
What do you mean?
That's why we're not anywhere. We're in your house.
All right, guys. If you haven't listened to Exile on Main Street in a little
Yeah.
while, give it a
Give it a
chance.
shot, man. It's really
I
good.
think, yeah, it's really fun record. It's just
Yeah, I'm not like we've talked about this in the past. I'm not one to sit there and listen to a whole album, but today I did, and I freaking enjoyed the thing.
You had a good time.
that
did.
crazy thing. It sounded pretty all right to
I
me.
think that was really nice.
Oh,
It was lovely. And don't forget to check out Diamante and Iconic, those bands as well. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Lily V6, go ahead and remind us again where we may partake
Find
of
me.
your titty talk.
That's not a thing. However, on Thursdays, you can listen to Hot Licks with Lily 6 at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. On Rock Rage Radio, you can download the app for free or go to rockrageradio.com. I have the Stage of Dreams on interview this week, and they are a band out of Ohio, so check them out.
Oh, hi. What state is high in the middle and round on both ends?
Ohio.
Pittsburgh, Kevin, anything you would like to say?
I'm gonna have to start doing my own show. I think. Not necessarily on a platform. I'm just gonna sit in my living room
And talk
just
to yourself.
Talk to myself.
And then I'm going to come knock on your door.
Yeah, please.
Come and knock on my door.
It's 2:00 in the morning. Shut the f up. Sorry, Lily. Hey, when we're done with the podcast, tell everybody what we're gonna do. We're gonna go next door.
Yeah, we have somebody that popped up a trailer in somebody's yard here in the neighborhood, so we're not exactly sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, and they like to play a banjo. So, where do they get?
They're
a load
my
of
new
us?
best friends.
Wait till they get a load of us. Lou and I have about 1,500 watts of power between the two of us.
I'll bring the tambourine.
Hey, man, I respect banjo people.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you ever watch the movie Deliverance?
Yes.
The last thing you
I
want
hate it.
is some motherfucker with a banjo to come out of the woods.
Fuck that.
And
No.
don't
The
forget
answer is no.
drunk Kermit plays the banjo too.
Oh my god, I hate you.
Sorry, Lily. I forgot about your love for the Muppets.
It's okay. I like drunk.
Someday you'll find it.
I'm sure Kermit's been drunk a time or two.
I bet you he has.
He's
Well,
married to
I-
Miss Piggy.
And sometimes his finger smells
Well, they
like...
got married in Muppets Take Manhattan. So
It was
yeah.
a sham wedding.
She tricked him, but guess what?
Did he pork her?
Hey, you guys, have a great week. We'll catch y'all. Stay free. We'll catch y'all on the next Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
Oh.